lost until it's gone. Yep, that's right. You all know what you've lost until it's gone. PK here, very early in the morning. Let me get this thing set up here. We're going to talk about something I think you'll find very interesting. Turn the music off. A song I wrote many years ago. It was called Gone, which is very appropriate for what the topic is today. Let me get my notes. Anyway, PK here out of the box. And what we're going to talk about is, I didn't get dressed this morning. Sorry, it's too early in the morning for me. But I think the topic you're going to like is, I called the pandemic trade the worst read of my career, of my 35 years as a trader. Let me tell you what happened. As we all know, back in March, the market was at all-time highs, started coming down and coming down fast. Of course, I didn't catch it at the high. Never even thought about it. Thought the market was going higher like everybody else at that time. Anyway, it starts dropping the market. And I took some trades. There were some short-term sell signals that I took. But the problem was on the way down, as it was really picking up speed, the VIX, the volatility, 30, 40, 50, going higher and higher. And the problem is, it got so wild, for my type of trading, I like to bet bigger with smaller stops. You couldn't put that stop in. S&P was moving 20 points in 3 minutes. The Dow moved 200 points. So I had to bet small. So this whole thing down, I made some money, but nothing to really brag about, nothing to talk about. But the real trade was when was it here? Let me look at it real quickly. I try to show it to you. As you know, I don't have any production values. I can't look, but if you go back, take a look at the SPY on your daily. The market had bottomed towards, I think it was in April, beginning of April, end of March. Anyway, that rally. And I can tell you, on that rally, when it started rallying up, I thought to myself, talk about everything lining up and looking perfect to me. Solid downtrend. In fact, a lot of people thought that rally, no way, a V bottom. Donald Trump, I thought it was crazy. He's just making some campaign thing. Never going to happen. We're going lower. That low is never going to hold. And yes, there was a huge volatility on the way up. So what happened was, I thought, as I said, everything looked perfect in my eyes. So I started selling the rally. Here, it go for me 1 day, 2 days, come back, I boom, I stop even. I must have tried over that month, over the month, I think, the next month, 6 weeks, I tried 5 times selling it here, and up here, and every time I got in, everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. My strengths, getting in at the right place. Usually goes for me. Hopefully enough to move the stop to even. Doesn't mean I'm going to win. And this is what would happen. Every try I made going short went for me that first day. And I get stopped out the next day, turn around and go higher and higher and higher. And I just couldn't believe it. I was even telling my Facebook friends I grew up with, because they're all saying, "Oh, PK, you probably made a fortune on the way down." And I told them I didn't make this big fortune. Because usually, remember, all us traders, we love to go short because the big money is always made short because it goes down 3 times faster than it goes up. And the panic sets in. The only exception is in certain commodities during the reports. So anyway, here I am selling all the way up, and I didn't make any money. Did I lose? No, I didn't lose. I read a lot about some of the big guys, big hedge funds taking big positions, making calls. Everyone says the best sell of their career. It's definitely, this V bottom is going to at least retest the lows. As you saw, never happened. But the important thing I want to tell you about this is, I'm telling you, there were clues in the news in the beginning on that rally. We had the unemployment report. We had that this number was going, record unemployment every month, it came at, I think, a monthly. But weekly, we had the claims number, which normally means nothing. And they kept a record amount of unemployment claims. And what I want to tell you, yes, on the first report, it was, and they all came in worse than expected. And the market went down, continued lower on the way down here. But now on the way up, only I think one of the reports, from that point on, those government reports that came out weekly, the news would be as expected, worse than expected, and the market went up. And to me, I ignored it. All this just to show you how you can, even PK with all the years' experience, could throw out my own discipline, my own plan, my own thinking, right? Not want to believe it, because I got just like so many people, like all of you at times. I don't care if it's a stock future, you get married to that position, you just can't, your mind is set, you don't want to listen to anybody else, the reality of the news. And the thing is, I know the clues, what to look for, and they're right in front of me. Did I listen? No. I feel like the biggest idiot, so I think what I want to say is I could have got long down there. Of course, not at the bottom. You never catch the bottom because it could have gone much. We don't know what the bottom is. But on the turn, I'm telling you, after maybe I'm looking at it, maybe within the second week, we had one of the great buy signals in the now I'm talking about on the chart. It's a combination of that, but we had the reports, and anytime one of the great trades, if you follow a news trader, I'm going to do a video about this, is when you see, I don't care if this is earnings report for stock, the crude report, anytime you see better than expected news and it goes lower, this is a big sell signal, and vice versa. Worse than expected news, right? And the market goes higher. Of course, the stupid do the opposite. They said, how is it possible? But the fact that, I remember on the television, record disaster, so many people, all the stock cancer, and this is one of those few times, I'm really typical, a contrarian trader, and I usually go against the crowd. But I think I mentioned before, the crowd isn't 100% wrong. They might be wrong 85% of the time, but 15% of the time they're right, and you don't want to fight that. This is one of those cases. I happen to agree with everybody in the Bloomberg and the people I see. Of course, I don't watch the news, but at this time, I wanted to see what was happening, the reaction of the headlines. Everything is all over in America. Full employment, 20%, 25%. The claims, it's a disaster. We're never going to recover. It's all over. And okay, so I see this. Everything, and technically, it looks very bad to me in that rally. But the fact of the matter, there were clues in the news, in the government reports, which I do put trust in. Whether you think they're rigged or this, manipulated, doesn't matter. In fact, I don't even care what the news actually is. I'm more interested in the reaction to the news. This is much more important as a trader. And this goes for stocks, futures. It's the reaction. So anyway, again, this pandemic trade, I really thought, and the thing is, I bet big on that rally. And I kept catching it over that month on every short, the S&P, I did the NASDAQ, I don't care what it was. I went across the board, and I thought I was going to clean up and go out and buy order a new Porsche for $150,000, pay cash from the winnings. Never happened. It just didn't happen. I feel bad about it. One thing I never had clues, the market turns around sometimes. It can look very negative and just out of nowhere. You get this. Actually, these V bottoms, the V tops can be very dangerous because the trend changes. And meanwhile, you keep trying because you want to go with the long-term trend, but it's changed, but there's no clues. But this is a case where we had clues. And the stupid me doesn't want to follow it. So who's guilty? Again, remember what I told you? You want to see the biggest problem, where your problems are in the life and the trading? Just look in the mirror and see who that reflection is coming back at. It's you. Anyway, it's PK here. That was the pandemic trade back last year. It's the worst read of my entire career, but I didn't lose money. But believe me, I tore my brains out for those 3 months, and I missed the opportunity to go long. That's what happened. Wish everyone a great day. Ciao, everybody.